Hey, everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, is my co-host, Jose Romero.
What up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Sunday, we're probably having some connection issues, so we apologize in advance. The audio should
I
be
know
fine.
we're so far away that we always have these weird little connection issues.
Apparently,
So
I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is,
it
guys.
is.
You know, just put us in the background. You can hear us fine, I think, so we'll be
Yeah,
okay.
let's face it. You tune into the show for our lovely voices and insight. Definitely not for this face. So you don't really need to.
I can't
have a
can't
face
argue
made
that.
for podcasting.
I can't argue that. That's for sure.
Perfectly fine with that. And we're on Sunday, which I like to call the phoenix of the weekday because it's both the beginning and the death of the new week as you prepare to do things forward. And there's so much nerd news to talk about. We couldn't even talk about the whole week. We had to cherry pick certain things because it was too much. And maybe we'll talk about it later. But this week we got our nerd nuggets pre-selected, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we are ready to go with that. But I know you wanted to mention something because this is October, this is Halloween month. I'm a huge horror fan. You know, not everyone is. I get it. But you said you had seen something that might be good for the kiddos.
Yes.
This time of year.
So if you have kids and you want to see something cool and they like something scary, but they don't want like Disney Channel scary, they want a little scary but not too scary. For the kids, I recommend Night Books. It's produced by Sam Raimi, so you got a little bit of that kick. You got a little bit of Evil Dead kick. There's actually one scene in the movie that is a straight homage from like the Evil Dead. It's super dope for the kids to see it. Really fun. In this movie alone, they make 3 references to the Lost Boys. So just to let you know what the level they're hitting at. Super great. I cannot recommend it enough. If you are an adult and want a good scary movie, also on Netflix, No One Gets Out of Alive.
Yeah, I did see that. I talk about that on my other show, The Watch List. I did bring that up. Cool. It was a good, smaller horror film.
Really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah, very simple. Talk about a way of making the fact that you didn't have a big budget work until the very end of the movie.
Yeah, and I think that part might throw people. I don't know how people are gonna feel about that. It's one of those like you either love or gonna hate what you see in the third act. But I thought it was cool.
I loved it.
I liked it, but I mean that's us. But yeah, but it was a cool. Yeah, it's good little. Good scares.
Very well acted.
Yeah.
It kept you intrigued, and it was very unique. And plus, not for nothing, the first 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes of the movie starts off with a Brazilian girl speaking Portuguese. So I was already like, all right,
yeah,
this is cool. I want to see more of this.
We support the Latin Nerd Network. We support all Latino here. He's a first-time director. I think
yeah.
Spanish descent. The main character, she's Mexican, I believe.
Yes.
I know the character is Mexican. But yeah, good film. That's a good one to either save for later or watch. Yeah, I like that one. That was a good
But definitely a fun watch.
Yeah,
absolutely. So Night Books for the kids, No One Gets Out Alive for the adults, both on Netflix. Enjoyed that as well. But that being out of the way, Jose.
Speaking of fun watches, or is it? I did get a chance to see Venom. You know, I always put my reviews up early, and I had this up I think Wednesday or Thursday anyway.
Cool.
I know Eric, you haven't seen it, so
not yet.
I want to keep it. You know, this is the big nugget for the week, right? One of the big nuggets anyway, because you know, obviously Sunday. Venom came out on Friday. I don't know, whatever.
Thursday, Friday,
whatever. Either way, you haven't seen it, so I'm gonna keep it spoiler free. I am gonna spoil, and we'll talk about it, the end credit scene. So if you haven't seen it, I'll give a little advance warning. You know, I'll wave when we put it on mute. And I'll wave when we're off that topic. But overall, I think we were eye to eye in the first film, right? It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
This one is okay. It's all right.
It's equally okay.
It's a little bit better than the first one because a couple of things. One, the villain's better. I'm not saying he's great, but he's better. Right. The villain sucked in the first one. I forgot the guy's name who played. He was terrible. And the third act, the CGI was, you couldn't see shit. It was not poorly.
Very Transformer.
Yeah. This one is a better shot. Excuse me. The CGI is better, so you can actually see what's going on, which is important because you want to see Carnage going against Venom, of course.
Hell yeah.
But overall, it's fine. You know, it's short, 90 minutes. What Tom Hardy worked the first movie worked in this movie. Him with Venom together. It's like an old married couple. They're bickering the whole time.
Perfect.
The problem is they're bickering for 2/3 of the movie. Nothing's going on except them bickering. So there's not a whole lot there.
Well, I mean, that was
whatever.
The whole premise of the movie.
Which
Grumpy Old Men. It was just
exactly what it was. Like the Odd Couple. It's basically what that is. You know,
Right.
I don't know if you needed 2/3 of the film, but whatever. Listen, that's still fun. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's if you like the first one. If you love the first one, go to theaters. If you thought the first one was terrible, don't watch this. Me and Eric were on the same page. We thought it was okay. I think it's okay for you. Like I will tell you what way to see it at home. Honestly, I don't know if it's worthy to go to theater to go watch it. You know,
let me ask you this question because I saw this
scene. Shang-Chi.
Okay, fair enough. Because Shang-Chi, I thought even though I wasn't a biggest fan of what the third act was. Third act visually looks great on screen. So like on a big theater. So totally for that aspect. Now there was one thing I saw on the trailer that I wanted to talk to you about. What is going on? And go as deep in as you feel comfortable doing. What was going on with that scene in the new trailer where Venom, it looks like he's in an underground rave and he's got all those glow sticks around his arms and his neck? What is that?
That was such an odd scene. So, little spoiler here. It's not a huge plot point, but they're bickering, so they kind of separate for a little while, right? So they kind of grow on their own. So Venom's on his own, and he wants to experience life and whatever, yada yada yada. So he ends up at some rave, and he's just there. It's weird. So he put the little glow sticks on him. He goes to the stage, says some speech, and then he walks out. It was a weird scene, but yeah, it's awkward. I was like, okay.
I'm just saying.
Whatever.
The reason I'm asking is
it was no Thor. I know thinking about Thor. No.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. In Party Thor and What If, there was a massive party, and you literally saw Korg with a pacifier in his mouth, and I was like, oh man, is Korg doing ecstasy or Molly? Because if you're at a rave or a party, the only time you have a pacifier in your mouth is when you don't want to grind your teeth for 8 hours. So now you have that moment there, and now you have Venom at a rave with glow sticks and everything. I'm like, who in Marvel is like, no, these guys totally party. These guys are like, this is how they get down.
I'll say this because you bring it up. It would have been better if he was just there, right? It's not like he went to go party. If he was partying it up, Molly, ecstasy, and get whacked, then that would have been much better scene. He just kind of there. He ends up there.
They should have doubled down more on the EDM party scene for
Venom.
Venom.
If he was dancing or he gets in the stage, starts rapping or something. Because this movie's silly, right? That's what it is, but it's fine.
Sure.
That would have worked great. It wasn't that. So I'm like, it was weird. I guess it's a weird scene.
And it's rated R, right?
No, PG-13.
Oh,
which is
okay.
I wish it was
the
rated R.
The first one was rated R, right?
No, same thing, PG-13. Yeah.
Oh, I thought both of them were R.
Which is kind of a shame because it's Carnage. Hello.
Right, exactly.
But they get to use one F-bomb. Maybe PG-13 has allowed that, and then they use it here. Was fantastic. I'll give it that much. It was really. I was like, okay, that was cool. That was all right. Good job. Okay. They didn't waste that opportunity. Cool. But yeah, like I said, it was fine. It's fine. It's not terrible. But
was Woody Harrelson fun to watch? That's always an important thing because you kind of know what Tom Hardy's going to act like.
Yeah, he was okay.
Solid.
He was solid. He was fine. Okay. Yeah, it's just they didn't give him much to do. So it's just
it's
not his fault. It's
just Killers Woody Harrelson level, that kind of stuff. It wasn't that extent.
No. I mean, he had more to chew on in that film. Here, there. It's fine. Like I said, it's nothing great. Okay. It is better than the first for whatever that's worth.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you're looking from like a 7 to a 7.5. Yeah, that's what we're looking at more or less.
Yeah. No, maybe probably 7. I guess if I'm rating
again a 7, I put the first Venom at a 7. So if you said it's a little better,
but I don't think it's. Yeah, I have to see it again. To be honest, just coming out of theater, I'm thinking like a 7.5 at best.
Next week, I'll give you my review, my opinion of it, and we'll kind of touch base on that. But okay,
if you say 7.5. Okay, yeah, I'm 7.5. I can say that depending what day of the week. But spoiler here, this is major spoiler. So I'm gonna talk about the end credit scenes. I know when Eric can do dive because it's a really good one. So if you've seen it, great. If you haven't, you weren't warned. So the end credit scene. So this is really cool, Eric. So basically, it's just a shot with I guess obviously they mend fences to get back together or whatever. And they're waking up in some hotel room or something, and I don't know if they've been drinking or whatever. Oh no, I'm sorry. They're watching a novela, a Spanish novela on TV, which is great.
Even better.
So Eddie's laying down, and you see Venom's head next to him, and watching the show. They're talking shit about it. It's cool, right?
Sure.
And then Venom, I'm paraphrasing something about they get into this conversation about all the things that he's seen that Eddie has no clue what he's been through, all his galaxies out there, and yada yada yada. And Eddie's like, well, you can show me. He's like, well, you're not going to be able to handle it. And he's like, I said, just go ahead, show me something. So he's like, okay, hold on, right? So as soon as he says that, you see this weird kind of flash or whatever out through the window, right, through the curtains. And all of a sudden, the scene is daytime or something like that. Uh-huh. And they wake up, and he's he's in bed. He's like, wait, what happened? And he's like, well, I didn't do anything yet. I was about to show you something, but I don't know what's going on. Then TV's on, the channel's changed, and it's a news update, and it's Jameson. Because J.K. Simmons, Jameson, from Spider-Man. And he's talking about Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man. But he has been unmasked and who Tom Holland is. And he goes next to the TV and they show Tom Holland there. He's, Spider-Man, villain or foe, whatever, friend or foe, that kind of thing. And he's like, and he touches the TV. He's like, who's this guy? I don't know. And then some random guy walks into the hotel room out of the bathroom, and they look at each other, and the guy tells him, "What are you guys doing in my room?" And he's like, "I don't know," and then it kind of ends like that. So obviously, and so they're in the multiverse. So something happened.
Right,
The multiverse
exactly.
is there. Tom Holland's face, the characters on screen, J.K. Simmons' voice, Spider-Man is mentioned. So they're melding the. I don't know what this means. It could just mean something having fun with it, or down the road. This isn't. I'd be incredibly shocked that he would appear in Spider-Man. I don't think he's appearing in the next Spider-Man.
There's a rumor that he's going to be there, but once again, that's a really far-fetched
I think
rumor.
that we probably would have known. Someone would have spilled the beans on that at some point.
Sure.
You knew Maguire and this Garfield and all the other shit was going on.
Exactly.
But I think it's something they're setting up down the road where they're confirming, okay, now they're going to be or can be in the same universe.
Yeah.
Which is what we want to see, right? We want to see Venom with
Exactly.
this version of, Spider-Man. We got, Morbius coming out, and, they had Vulture, I think, in the trailer. And, we got, what was the other one? Craven the Hunter is being...
Craven's getting his own movie.
Getting his own film, right?
And you got Goblin, Ock, Lizard, Sandman, and
Right.
Electro. So there's plenty out there.
No, this there. And so now this one is confirming... I mean, for whatever, I don't know. This is not like a boner situation. I think they're really trying to say, okay, it's coming. We're gonna meld these.
I mean, clearly,
which is great. I mean, yeah, we want to see even the silly version of Venom. I'd love to see his version of Venom with Spider-Man together.
Yeah,
fighting
absolutely.
whomever, Craig Hunt, whatever. Like, I don't think it's gonna be next. This isn't like, oh, Mephisto's coming out. Let's everybody calm down. That's the first thing people will run. I know people at the theater were clapping because it's a really cool scene. Like,
Right.
oh shit, confirmation. Sony
Right.
and Marvel together in some fashion. So that was really cool, man. I was like, oh, okay. And so that could really open the door to a bunch of possibilities.
So what they're really saying at this moment is that not is there only a multiverse, but this movie takes place after Doctor Strange. Because if the multiverse of madness has every universe going crazy, and now they're sort of being aligned together.
Right.
It kind of sounds like Doctor Strange at the end of his movie is kind of mashing things together to kind of keep things.
Or happens during Spider-Man when he does a spell and he fucks up, and
that's true.
So I guess right. We don't know. So something. It could be one or the other. So
cool.
Again, would it be awesome to shut up in Spider-Man? It'd be awesome. I give it a 2% chance that's gonna happen.
Even if maybe it's just an after credit scene.
That's fine. That I can live with. I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was really cool to see. I was like, oh shit, because in my head I kept thinking, oh, they kept talking about this end credit scene. I'm like, oh, they're gonna show Morbius or something like that, or
that's what I thought. I thought it was
Hunter.
to be honest, I thought it was Morbius.
Right, like, they're combining that. Okay, which we heard rumors about, them doing Sinister Six or whatever they're doing.
Right.
But no, this one's like, oh shit, this is like legit, like, okay,
straight up putting the flag.
Yeah, this is like boom. This is where we are. Sony's like in or whatever. I mean, hopefully they are. Hopefully this isn't a boner thing where they just do this and they never meld these universes again. That would kind of suck.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do that and not follow through with it, right? I mean, they have to. Okay.
Yeah, there's too much money on the table to not follow through with
I think this movie's
point.
going to do well. That we'll find out. But yeah, I'm sure it'd be bad business not to do, not to say do a Marvel film, but do a Sony film with Venom and Spider-Man and Sinister Six or whatever the hell they're going to do with Morbius and all these other characters. That's got to be in the works, I assume.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and I think even Andy Serkis, who directed this one, talked about they're going to meet, and he was kind of insinuating he's going to meet Spider-Man at some point.
I mean, Venom 3. That's what I mean. If not a new Spider-Man movie, Venom 3 is where he's
right. He could show up there, even if it's a small piece. I don't know. Let's see. But that was cool, man. That was like, I was like, oh,
that's
that
cool.
was a good moment.
That's cool.
I was like, yeah, good end credit. Nice what I'm talking about. So, but yeah, I'm gonna see the movie, Eric. I kind of get your thoughts on it. But it was pretty good.
Next week, I will give you the lowdown. It's funny because I actually heard that there was the rumor about that scene playing out, but I heard that when he comes on the TV, Venom says, "Ooh, he looks tasty," which I was like, "Oh man, that sounds great."
I know it's something sad. I guess you're watching like, oh shit, you kind of cut up in the moment, and it's like, oh, you see, is that? Oh, it is Spider-Man on screen. Oh shit. So I know he said something there. So that may have been said. I think I can't. Don't quote me, but it's possible.
Fair enough.
He could have said that. So, but yeah, that was cool. So
cool.
If anything, I'll give half a point. I'll give it a 7.5 because of the end credit scene. How's that?
Okay, fair enough. I know you're a harsh taskmaster when it comes to this.
Okay, fine. So either way, let's stick with Marvel. We'll talk more about Venom next week. Let's do Marvel. This is actually a big story, man. It's not as the nerd community. I know people talk to me that they've gone kind of nuts about this, and it's not as bad as what it seems on the surface. So basically, we haven't talked about this, Eric, but recently, what we know, it's been reported that there's a suit being filed over the rights of some of the Marvel characters, such as Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor, Hulk, I think the Avengers, and all that. So it's I have it here, so you guys at home can see it. I'll highlight this for you guys. But basically, it's in conjunction with the copyright revision of 1976. Talking about copyright rights reverting back to the creator after I think a 60-year period, which has passed for some of these characters. So like Larry Lieber, I'm saying his name right, Eric? Larry Lieber. Okay. I think it's Stanley, who is Stanley's brother, right?
Right.
They filed a lawsuit against Walt Disney to regain the rights to Iron Man, Thor, and Ant-Man, all of which are he co-created. Several other creators soon joined them, including the estate of Steve Ditko, co-creator of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and the estate of Don Heck, who co-creator of Black Widow and Hawkeye, the heirs of Don Rico, co-creator of Black Widow, and the heirs of Gene Colan, who created Blade, Falcon, and Carol Danvers, all suing here because they want their rights reverted back to them. They want this back. So people see that and they say like, oh my God, Marvel's losing it. We're never going to see them in MCU or whatever the case is. And that's far from the truth. First of all, they have to win the suit. Number one. Yeah. Now, there was a suit, I think this week or last week, from the writer who wrote Friday the 13th, the original, who actually won and gained the rights back to Friday the 13th.
Oh wow!
Yeah, domestic only. Foreign still belongs to the I think after Universal. Doesn't matter. But to the studio, they kept the foreign rights. He doesn't have the rights to Jason because Jason, as we all know, was technically in the second film.
Exactly.
Not the first one, so he doesn't have the rights to Jason. But so it's not exactly the same thing. The principle is kind of the same, but I think his copyright, the law was written after he wrote it or before. Yeah, he wrote that right after the law was put in place, the act, right? These other ones were not. The act wasn't in place. So, there's a lot of legal technicalities there.
Plus, I mean, listen, here's something you got to remember, too, is that Marvel can claim that the type of character that was created is not exactly the one that's become the most successful. This is their version of that version. Like the fundamentals are there more or less, but this is their version of that character. And, like Marvel, unfortunately, as every comic company does, you're hired as work for hire.
Correct.
And listen,
Correct.
As content creators and everything, I totally sympathize with artists who are like, man, we made this and then you made all this and that. And I totally support Marvel giving you financial compensation because they could not make those things without your contribution to that thing. Look at the Superman, Joel Schuster and Jerry Siegel. Like those guys were living in poverty, basically, until they had a claim with DC, and DC now has to give them a stipend to everything that involves they make money off Superman. They have to send a portion to their estates, and they're living comfortably, and that's cool. And you should be if you're helping generate millions upon billions, you should get more than just 5-10 grand.
And there's arguments on both sides, right? Because listen, you work for hire, like Eric, I tell you, listen, write me whatever for some show, and you write it, you get paid, right? You are compensated. If that show ends up being something else, I'll say this, right? And I hear it's a Robert Meyer Burnett. He's a guy watching YouTube very so often, but he has a saying: you never get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate at the end of the day. So like, I know you're a content creator, Eric, and you're involved in stuff. And other people out there, listen, be careful what kind of deal you sign. I mean, if anything, this for sure show creators, hey, listen, guys, you can create something. There's a chance it could blow up 20 years down the line. Who knows? Sign a deal that compensate you for that, right? Or short-term deals where you get the rights back. Figure something out, because they technically Disney Marvel doesn't have to pay these guys anymore. They got paid for their work. That's going to be their argument, right? And
that's always been the thing that's been the albatross around their neck is that think about the guy who created Winter Soldier. Granted, he took a pre-existing Marvel character, but he made him into something else that's so popular that it's been the backstory of like 4 Marvel movies and a TV series. So you couldn't have had that off the initial creation. You only have it because of his contribution to the creation.
It goes. So it's like it's a very complex situation. I think this will be huge ramifications, not for the fans at all, But for the studios, for creators, okay, if they were to win this case and the rights go back to these creators in the States, that's a game changer, right? Because now, for the fans, listen, this doesn't mean Marvel's not making it. They're going to continue to make these movies. You know why? Because these people, when they get the copyrights, and what are they going to do? They're going to license them back to Marvel. All that means is they're going to get paid a shitload more money, and Marvel's Disney's gonna have to bend over and plop over whatever millions they need for them to continue making these movies. So for us, we don't suffer at all. I mean, let's assume, fine, they don't want to sell to Marvel with Disney. They can sell it to DC, sell it to Universal, Sony, whomever. I don't think they go that route, because I'm sure Disney's gonna overpay for this stuff. But it could happen. But they're still making movies.
I don't think it's ever going to get to that point. I think what's going to happen is they're going to do to these creators what they did with the creators of Superman. Hey, we're really sorry. Here's a bunch of money. Shut the fuck up. Here's some money we'll give you on an annual basis based on revenue generated.
Exactly. We'll give you a percentage points off the whatever needs to get done behind the scenes. I mean, I think they really want the rights, but I'm thinking even if they get the rights, this is if with Disney, the right thing to do, right? The right thing is to pay them some extra money, right? But Disney's want to do it. I get it. They don't have to. But at the end of the day, it's just money's gonna exchange hands, and the world's keep on spinning.
Honestly, all these people, they don't want the rights; they just want the money that comes with the craze, because they don't because it's their other family members who created it. These are family members.
These are related to the guy. Stanley's dead, obviously.
They have no control. None of them contributed to the creation of those characters in any kind of way.
They want the legacy money
for it. And listen, times are tough. I get it. This pandemic has kicked a lot of people in the junk. So if you can get a couple extra $100 or a couple extra $1 million annually, who doesn't want that?
I don't blame them. I don't blame Disney for fighting it. It is what it is. But let's see how it turns out. But at the end of the day, for us,
if Disney's smart, you take 1% of what you earned off of Endgame, and you divide it amongst these families, and then you just give them 10% of every year going forward.
And also, merchandising stuff, they should get all that, because it's all part of the same.
Absolutely.
But obviously,
it's an annual percentage of whatever was that character helped generate in revenue. You get that.
You get a bigger slice. Everybody wins. So, but it is interesting though. But it does, again, for anybody out there is thinking about creating, just think about what you're doing, what you're giving up. That's all I'm saying. Anything can be negotiated, right? It's all everything. Listen, this blows up. I want this. Whatever. Figure it out in the contract, because you're right. I'm not going to say Marvel sucked because they didn't pay him. Listen, they paid him for the work.
Yeah.
It just happened to blow up.
And everybody was agreeing
30 years later, it blew up. No one knew that was going to happen, right? Not like this. I mean,
You can even say something ridiculous like, after my property generates X number of millions, I want a bigger cut from that point forward. Because you're going to incentivize them trying to sell that. It's just be smart about it.
It's good. Do what Sony does, good business. We've seen Sony.
Don't make bad movies, good business.
Good business. At the end of the day, I'd rather be good business than good movies, right? That's what pays the bill. So I mean,
for you, yes. For them, the consumer, we're like, well, Venom
for us,
okay.
I want good movies. But if I'm with Sony, I'm making all kinds of money. It doesn't matter what the product is and whatever. But yeah, just be smart about it. But yeah, this is not a big deal for the fans. This doesn't mean it's going to get canceled. We're not going to see any more Hulk, Iron Man. That's not what it is at all. We're still going to see that.
One way or the other, we're going to get it.
See, it's just going to cost some more money. Who gives a fuck to us? Like, whatever. I don't care what Disney pays. I could care less. Yeah. As a fan, as a consumer, pay him some money. Just pay him.
Yeah, whatever. Just pay him money.
Just pay him money. I get it. Don't get
it's going to be greedy. It's going to be less than you expected. Exactly. But it's going to be more than you're giving them now.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins. The world keeps on. So that's all I'm saying. Just pay the money. So that being said, let's move on from there, because we have some Netflix. Let's go to Netflix. So they had I guess their own showcase or something. So they dropped a bunch of trailers, the stuff that's coming out, and whatever. So we got a lot of cool stuff. The first one here is one that we talked about before in the show, and that's Cowboy Bebop, which dropped not a trailer, but just the intro scene.
The show intro.
Right? They dropped, which looked pretty cool. I mean, again, it's hard to judge how the show's going to be based off that.
It's almost an exact shot per shot recreation of the anime intro. It's almost like there's some new stuff that you don't see before, but it's really close to it.
Okay, so it's kind of the same. But it looked cool, interesting, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down for it. We're excited about the show, and I wish they would have shown us some footage. I think that show drops in November, memory serves. So whatever, but it looked cool. Another which I really was interested in, and that is Sandman. The Sandman.
Yeah, man. That trailer. Yeah. That trailer, as a Sandman fan, that trailer is 100% what you see in Sandman issue number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It is, there's so much there. The only thing they didn't do is they made Sandman look human instead of how he looks in the comics, which is like pale white with like dark, like infinite eyes,
which I get,
and like dark black hair.
I think they can.
Eventually, you can get
there.
there.
I think you can introduce that. Yeah, exactly. You see that's his version or whatever, just to make it human. Whatever.
But to see him like in the circle of incantation with the dream helm, like passed out, and then him coming out, like all that was like literally panel by panel. I literally got goosebumps because like holy crap! And I didn't realize this. Oh, I forgot. I think that Neil Gaiman is the showrunner on the show. So you're getting the creator of the series leading the charge on how to like. Super excited.
No, yeah, because I love that story as well. Yeah, I love that run. You know, is Morpheus his name?
Morpheus, yes.
Right, he's one of the seven. What do you call this? The seven.
The endless.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so such a good story, dark story. It's great. I really hope Netflix does this right. The trailer looked really cool for what they showed us. Yeah, I can't wait.
This show has the potential to be better. Has the potential to be better than Doom Patrol, and we both know Doom Patrol is the best DC show out there.
That's a fair statement. Absolutely. I mean, because Doom Patrol is really only the really good show DC has. Like good show, like legit. There's other stuff, but Titans,
right?
But this one could be the best one. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. This is what. Yeah, you guys don't have it on your radar. You should, because it's really. If you haven't read the story, you don't have to go back and read it. If this hopefully does it justice.
But always go back and read it.
If you can, you can exactly,
read that, or even get the audio. There's an Audible books. They have the audio series of Sandman with James McAvoy as Dream. Yeah. So like check that out. Season 2 has come out. They're working on season 3 right now. Like it is a good time to be a Sandman fan right now. But if you get a chance, get those trades, man, because it is so worth
hopefully
it.
Hopefully it's a rated. Well, Netflix doesn't shy away from the graphic nature. So hopefully that's based on Jupiter's Legacy. They go for it in terms of the graphic nature of it. The show was great, but whatever. Hopefully it's better than that. A better adaptation of that.
I think so.
I think so. I hope so. But this is a better story, I think, personally. Anyway.
Absolutely. So, story-wise, it is hands down. It's night and day.
There's more meat on the bone on this one, so I can't wait for this. I'm super excited about this one. Another one here is Stranger Things 4 coming out. They gave us the trailer, 2022 coming out. They didn't say an exact date.
Which is a bummer because it was supposed to come out 2021. They thought Halloween.
The COVID dates, how this one's got delayed like crazy. So it is what it is. But we finally got a cool trailer, actually showing us the kids again. I got the one. What's his face with the Kid and Play haircut, which is hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. The high top. There we go. The high top. Yeah, that was fantastic. I guess they didn't give us a whole lot, but we got a sense of the vibe, and I like this show a lot, man. This is one of Netflix original.
We were talking about it, and you said that you were worried that because they're kind of focusing on the haunted house aspect, you said, I hope that they don't feel like a certain kind of show. Do you remember what show you were telling me? Like you hope it doesn't feel that way.
I'm trying to remember. I don't. I got to think about that. I know I mentioned it, but
it gave me a little bit of a vibe. Two things. One is going to make sense, and one may not make sense unless you're familiar with it. It gave me a little bit of season 1 of American Horror Story. Sort of like that house that a murder happens, and a classic horror movie trope kind of stuff, but also the interconnectivity of like the legacy of a haunted house. I thought was kind of cool. And also, do you remember this movie in the 80s, in a horror movie called House?
Oh my God, yeah. It had a couple of sequels. Yeah, I remember that. That was a really cheesy 80s
But the first one is solid.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
That sweet spot of 80s horror.
It probably doesn't hold up, but back then it was cool shit. Yeah.
I would recommend watching House and then watching this trailer back to back. And I got a definite House vibe, and only because they're set in the 80s, it would make sense that they were making that kind of connection between House and that. So I'm hoping that, because House, I really enjoyed House. House 2 is a little bit funnier than House 1. House was more horror. House 2 is a little funnier. But both, like, in terms of like practical effects, both those movies are incredible. Like, we're talking about like great costumes and prosthetics for horror. Both of those knock it out of the park.
This may take place, I don't know, probably 88, because I was looking up now, like House Party, because obviously the high top with the Kid and Play, that was 1990. But Kid and Play were around a little bit before then, so maybe 80, 88, 89.
Hip-hop,
89, potentially,
right,
so it's the tail end of the 80s. Maybe even 90, I don't know. But yeah, it's around that time frame. But yeah, I saw a high top. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I love House Party. That's how
listen, it is a classic.
This is a classic.
House Party to me is amazing. Right up there with Blazing Saddles, and even like it's just something about so
I wouldn't go
funny
that far,
that
but
you can
yes,
just
it's still
watch
good.
it.
It's great.
I'm sorry, not simply, yeah, Blazing Saddles with the big movie color. Like it's so, what I mean in the sense where like it's not as like a social political commentary, but like the silliness of the comedy is evergreen. Like you watch Blazing Saddles where they're all eating beans and farting by the campfire. I get the same joy of watching that scene as I do watching any scene of House Party where they're telling Martin Lawrence he's got a dragon. Like it is
A very
funny on that
young,
level.
yeah,
On
very
both.
young,
Yeah,
thin Martin Lawrence.
very young.
But that was such a guy. I love that. The second one was whatever, but the first one,
the first one is solid.
great. I love that one. So by the way, so Stranger Things. Obviously, we'll talk about it next year when it comes out. Last trailer, not Netflix related. This one, Marvel related on Hulu, and that is of course Hitmonkey. There we go. I'm sorry, I lost the name for a second.
Hitmonkey.
So I don't know anything about this damn thing. I don't know what this is. It looked pretty cool. It was Sudeikis in it.
Hitmonkey,
who's great.
Jason Sudeikis were right off of Ted Lasso.
Great show, by the way.
Hitmonkey. Basically, long story boring. If you're a fan of Deadpool, you're going to be a fan of Hitmonkey. Hitmonkey was spawned from the Deadpool universe, and it is exactly that. He is a monkey who's been trained to be an assassin. And the most deadliest simian in the planet, training every use of every firearm and lethal weapon in his hands. He's not Bullseye where you could turn everything into a weapon, but you give him a gun or a knife and your ass is grass. That is Hitmonkey. And he wears a three-piece suit with sunglasses because he's a legitimate assassin. And Jason Sudeikis is his handler. So, I mean, if you love Deadpool, you're going to love this. And I can't stress this enough. It is a funny, joyous, over-the-top violent, curse-filled joyride. I love Hitmonkey. I've been campaigning for years to get Hitmonkey put on the Pet Avengers team because he needs to be there. He needs to be their Wolverine, and it hasn't happened yet. Maybe the show is so popular that they'll put him on. But yeah, Hitmonkey, the hidden jewel of obscure insanity of comic books. If you love Deadpool, if you love the craziness of Doom Patrol without the metaphysical context, just the ridiculousness of it all, Hitmonkey is where it's at. Please watch it. You will.
Is this potentially a prequel to Planet of the Apes or no? No relation.
No, it isn't. It is not a prequel at all. No relation at all. It is.
I see Mark Wahlberg in there somewhere.
If they do, I hope they kill him.
They do. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching the show.
You should watch the show. If they have Mark Wahlberg come out, it's like, hey, say hi to your mother for me, and then like a bullet blows his brains out, and it's
you monkey.
Like, yes, I want that.
Gosh, Mark Wahlberg. I love Mark Wahlberg, but I also hate him.
Listen, Mark Wahlberg is great 50% of the time, but
you never know.
You
roll the die, and okay, let's see what happens. It is what it is, right?
Sometimes you get The Departed, sometimes you get Ted, and sometimes you get The Happening. You don't know what you're gonna get.
A box of chocolates. So we look forward to it. I didn't get a date on. I didn't look it up, to be honest with you, as far as when it's coming out.
I thought it was next year.
Is it next year? Okay, so obviously these are the ones we'll keep an eye on.
Earliest is going to be December, but keep an eye on Hulu. Yeah, Hitmonkey.
No, we'll talk about this when it comes out. There's no question about it.
Absolutely.
Like I said, there'll be other shows to talk about, including the shows we're talking about now, because our Nerdy Nuggets have officially ended here.
We're done with our appetizer. Get ready for the main course
here, dessert, and Titans. No, I'm not gonna shit on Titan. I'm not shitting on Titan this week. Maybe every week I'm not. So let's start with What If, right? Of course, there's a plus. We got episode 9. So there's one left on here. And
yes.
This one,
it was episode 8. 9.
I'm sorry, 8. You're right. 9 is the last one. I'm sorry.
Right.
And now, this one focused on Ultron, which they kind of tease at the end of episode 7.
By the way, I got to interrupt you for a second. I've been watching a couple people review this episode, and I've heard different terms for what this being, which is the enemy of the multiverse we're seeing. Some people have called it Viztron. Some people have called it Infinity Vision. I like to call it Infinivistron. That is going to be my name. It's the Infinite Vision Ultron. Infinivistron. Okay. Some people call it Ultravision. I don't take that. Infinivistron is where it's at. Because and a little deep cut dive on the aesthetic of Infinivistron. He looks like Ultron, but it's an armored suit. Vision is inside the armored suit. Yeah. But he's got multiple eyes. And if you want to know where that came from, read the comic book Annihilation Volume 2, where Ultron becomes the big bad. That's where they gave Ultron the first time, the multi-eyed demon look that he has in his show. So little comic book reference is from Annihilation Volume 2. But continue.
Yeah, so in here, because we saw him at the end of that last episode, and
Right, little
yeah, little
tease.
tease, and he comes out and he's got all the Infinity Stones and he's, raving havoc and destroying the universe, essentially, right? Until he discovers there's a multiverse and the Watcher gets involved. He intervenes for the first time, which is interesting. We got out of a Hawkeye and Black Widow as well. So, I think but different versions of him, because I think Hawkeye's got a metal arm, right?
Well, he lost his arm after the
attack, or whatever the case is. But either way, so I mean, listen, it's a really cool episode, man. I actually like this one a lot.
I liked it a lot too. I thought I liked the fact, little nods to things, like they gave Hawkeye his "I've lost everything" haircut. They had an
yeah.
Once again, he lost, so they gave him that. They brought back Hawkeye's hacking arrow that hasn't been seen since Avengers 1, where he hacked the helicarrier. So I thought that was really cool. They brought back Armin Zola, which hasn't been seen since Winter Soldier. Which, if you saw the episode, they found Armin Zola's secondary consciousness in the same place where Zemo had planned the battle between Winter Soldier and Cap versus Iron Man. Which means, is there a backup Zola still in that base? Because that's where they fought each other. So if you're wondering, are they going to bring back Zola? They're letting you know there's another hard drive there. So maybe, I don't know. But I think the real villain of this episode has to be the Watcher's inability to shut the fuck up on narrating. Because the Vision is Infinivistron was like, I've taken over the universe and I'm just going to be quiet and just take it all in. And as you do this, Watcher's like, and this is why the world will never understand the high process of communicating with the stones that have led into an elevator. And Infinivistron was like, what was that voice? Like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Right? You're the Watcher, not the narrator. This is a totally different thing. You could have been like, oh shit, let me write this down quietly.
Could have been a picture.
But you have to, you have to keep talking. And now I've heard a lot of people, I know they're nerds, who reached out to me going, how did he do all this real fast? And I said, I don't think the show did a really good job of explaining how long it took Infinivistron to get to where he's at. Because he destroyed the universe and he spent eons, I'm sure, decades, like just becoming in tune with the Infinity Stone to be powerful enough to listen, to barely hear the Watcher in the distance. And then when the Watcher like scrambled that screen, when he finally makes it into that space between dimensions, he goes, I finally found you. Which means he had been searching for years to get to that spot. So he's been so well versed in using the Infinity Stones in a way that we've never seen before. And then when the Watcher says, how did you find me? And he says, it's a multiverse. Anything is possible. Don't think it's, how is he using the Infinity Stones outside of his reality? Infinity Stones aren't supposed to work that way. You don't know what kind of augmentations he's done to himself, the stones, and the way they work to make it to that level. Maybe, just maybe, each stone is from a different dimension that he's gotten, or he's condensed every Infinity Gauntlet that he's created into one specific stone. So there's so many different things they could have created to make this possible that you can't apply standard Infinity Stone logic to this. Because when he said, I finally found you, that means he's been practicing and searching this for God knows how long just to get there. So time is no longer relevant. So you can't be like, it's only been like half an hour. Like, no, it's a whole other process.
I mean, they're not going to show them, you can do the montage thing.
Exactly.
But come on, guys. Really.
But big ups to the fight between Vision and Infinivistron and the Watcher and all the Kirby Crackle, which is those black dot energies. So, like, I love that. I'm a huge Kirby fan. If you're a Kirby comic fan, Kirby Crackle dots are where it's at. And I love the fact that they even made the Watcher a little bit of a fighter, which he's never been in the comic books before. So like, oh, cool. They're giving him a little armor, make some moves. Best shot of the episode was Infinivistron's giant head just chomping down on an entire fucking universe and exploding everything like that. Like, if you want to know like how dangerous this fucker is, that's the scene. They're like, yeah, okay, cool. This is the real deal. Everything else, huge power levels, but that to me, that was my favorite
complaint
shot.
was Thanos went on like a little bitch. but whatever. I'm
Yeah,
like,
a little bit.
Okay.
But he's not a fighter, so like,
I know,
like
he
if
could have.
Unicron is taking
He had
over
he had the garment. He
universes.
could have done something. I'm just some minor grab. I'm just joking on, but I mean, yeah.
Oh no, you're talking about Thanos.
Thanos.
You're talking about Watcher.
Thanos.
Oh, well, Thanos. Here's what I think about Thanos is that Thanos had just showed up, and he's still acclimated to the power set, and Vision has become one with the Mind Stone. That he processes things maybe just like a second faster than Thanos.
It's just more like just I would like to see Thanos put up a fight. I know he couldn't, but I'm just saying,
sure.
It's just a small thing. But that was kind of funny. I'm like, damn, already? All right, moving on. But that was kind of cool that he showed up and then good night, I guess. He got sliced.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. Cool. And my kids are like, Dad, why didn't Vision do that in Endgame? I was like, because he got damage from Corey of his glaive. He got that stab, so his circuits weren't working.
Vision's been underdone in the Marvel universe at the end of the day. He's not the Vision you see in the comics. He's just, I don't think at all.
No, not at all. He's a little...
but whatever.
But he was damaged too, and that's my headcanon. That's how I worked it out. I was like, he was damaged. He didn't have full access to everything.
He needed Venom there. Everybody's Venom by the side. So the other show, let's get into that one. Let's do your favorite first. This is one of your all-time favorite shows, of course, and that is Titans on HBO Max.
Yes.
You're itching to talk about it. But to be fair, listen, I thought it was a decent episode, to be honest with you. I'm not going to hate on it. We haven't hated the show the last couple episodes. I think we've liked what we've seen. Not great, but we've enjoyed what
I'll tell you this. Watching a show, the first half of the show I thought was fine. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. The whole thing where Blackfire has absorbed Starfire's power. I was like, okay, sure, because in the comics they both have the same superpowers more or less. So I was like, okay, maybe that's how they're gonna work. And like splitting the power eventually, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, this is the show's mechanics of making that reality work. I'm like, okay, I'll let that one slide. I'm not even going to bring up the fact of like the limited number of extras they have, which is why they have to fight under a bridge with 2 people foaming at the mouth and then like 10 people going, get out of here. I'm like, are you
just watching?
Kidding me? Like, like there's a guy there with a Superman t-shirt that has Superman's powers, and you're going to walk around with a baseball bat and try to bully him out of the way? Like, what are you doing? Like, that is dumb. That all being said, still on board with the episode until the big thing where like, we're going to turn ourselves in and then we'll bail out. Without a single fucking lawyer anywhere to say, we guarantee this. Don't worry about it, guys. There's no way it could possibly go wrong. So you're going to have a bunch of superheroes claiming they know how the legal system is going to work in Gotham fucking City, and then be surrounded by SWAT team guys with 330 cops that you don't know are there. And they're actively disobeying Commissioner Barbara Gordon's orders, attacking. She shoots one of them to stop it, and she's the one who gets in trouble. Get the fuck out of here.
I was like,
that's what I'm saying. That's where the show does the ball drop every goddamn time. They just go, none of this makes sense.
That was kind of something with her. I'm like, whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm trying to watch the show on a different eye, right? I'm gonna sleep. I'm lowering the expectations here. I just am. It's like because we have to. We have no choice now. I'm gonna stop expecting something good or great.
Do you inhale carbon monoxide for an hour before you watch this? Like your brain can't process. Like,
that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Like when I go to rave, I'm taking something like Venom. I'm going to participate.
You get a pacifier like you and Corey on Molly. Going, oh my god, it's so good. Like maybe that's it. But no.
Yeah, but like, it was fine. It was fine. I'm not going to hate it. Like I said, this. It's not. Last week was better. Last week was better, but again, I'm not gonna. This isn't like episode 4, 5, 6, whatever. The middle ground that where the show really hit the skids. It was whatever. We got 3 left. The plan is set. At least we know what's up and we know how this is gonna go down. I guess Raven's back, right? We saw Raven.
Yeah.
Donna's back. The whole thing. That was one thing that felt really weird. What happened to Batman? Whatever. I guess they just. Whatever. I don't know. They just
they don't know how to do.
They really don't. So that why do it in the first place? But whatever.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. But not terrible. It was fine. Again, I shouldn't expect it. If it ends well, again, like I said, 3 episodes. Let's see what they do ultimately.
Man, listen, if they could turn around in 3 episodes, I will eat my words and say I will watch all season 4 with a smile on my face. But if you get it, give me those 3 episodes as good as the first 3 episodes of the season, and I will eat my words. If not, go fuck yourself, Titans.
Yeah, if it ends like if they give us 4, 5, or 6, and then I'm off the show. because
Yeah,
I don't even want to bother what they're gonna do next season anyway.
I agree.
However, fortunately, we can cleanse our palate here and take a
Thank
a
God.
little bit of Doom Patrol, which I
Oh,
always watch second after Titans because I know okay Titans is
I,
get out of the way and just bring out the main. This is the main course.
you and me have the same watching
Yeah,
order. I watch Titans first. I get mad. I watch Doom Patrol. I'm like, oh, okay, this
right.
is what a
It
good
just makes you
show is.
forget about
Okay,
what you saw. Oh
it
man,
really
great,
does. It really
wonderful. Because
does.
you don't want to end in a downer. You
Yeah,
want to end in the high note, right? So,
yeah.
boom, here we go. And yeah, Doom Patrol again. Last episode when we didn't talk about it, but there were was it the zombie one? Was that the one? Was it
No, the zombie was
this
this
week?
episode. The last episode
Oh,
where
they were
they
dead.
were
I'm sorry.
escaping the
Yeah, they were
underworld. They were
dead,
escaping
and
the underworld. Yeah,
very cool
yeah.
episode, very Doom Patrol ish.
Such a fun
Really
episode.
was. And
Yeah.
this one here now the zombies, and I thought it's probably I know I'll let you mention it, but I think it's the best episode of the season. I know you're going even
Yes.
beyond that, but it's so
I
good.
I would say not only is it the best episode of the season, it is the best episode of the series. It is the episode that from now on, people when I tell people you should watch Doom Patrol, they're like, really? I go, just watch this one episode. And if none of this captures you, this show's not for you. But if some of this captures you, you got to watch it. And I'll tell you why. Let's say you've never seen Doom Patrol and you're like, what is this show all about? You watch this episode, you meet a girl who claims she's a time traveler, and these fucking weirdos are like, listen, we know a lot of crazy shit happens, but time travel is not one of them. And she's like, well, it doesn't matter if you believe me or not. I'll just go back in time like a week before your leader's dead, and I'll talk to them like, oh no, you don't want to come back last week. We were all in hell. Okay, what about the week after that? Oh, we were lousy with sex ghosts. That's not a good
That
thing
was
too.
funny.
And about that, like, how about the week after that? Oh no, Justice, you don't want to come back and that. Like,
That scene
12
was
weeks.
was
Oh,
was Gina. It was so funny.
like just on what they're telling each other they've been through is so goddamn insane that you cannot but go, I kind of want to
Yeah,
see these
in a
episodes
short
now.
period of time too.
Yeah, and they'll knock it in. And then they, because of what happened the last episode, they go even further and they start to become zombies. And then the zombies get led into this thing where they have to fight an army of flesh-eating ass monsters. And it is probably the most action-packed scene I've seen of the whole series. Like we were just talking about, like, this series doesn't have superhero fights. It has psychological breakthroughs. There's moments of introspection. As it shows people letting go of what holds them back to become better people. And this episode is like, there are zombie superheroes eating out ass
Yeah.
monsters to stop a bit. Like, oh my God, yes, I want all of this forever. Like, this was a perfect Doom Patrol episode. And these are the little teaser. It even has an after credit scene, like a
Yeah,
real
of
superhero
course,
show.
yeah.
Like, it was a perfect
And
episode.
it's one of those where, like,
All
again,
day.
on paper, I mean, here as superhero zombies fight, little ass creatures, bug creatures. It just sounds stupid. It sounds ridiculous, but
It
it
does.
works every single time. I don't know what it is about this show,
So
and I
good.
know it's not. Listen, not everyone's gonna like it, and I get that. I'll admit, there's not a show for everybody. It's not. But man,
It's only for cool kids.
yeah,
It's only
yeah,
for cool kids.
definitely.
If you can handle it, then you're
If
not.
you can handle it, you can watch
And,
Titans. How's that?
yeah, if you don't like Doom Patrol, Titans is totally your speed because obviously you're wearing a helmet and you get lost with big words like the
You
and
come out a
cat.
little, you come out a
So,
little bus. I'm sorry, it's mean.
and big shout out as well. Big shout out as well because when I saw the trailer, I was thought, oh, this is the Brotherhood of Dada, but it looks like they're making it the Sisterhood of Dada, which is
yeah.
even a nice gender switch thing. I don't know if it's going to be a sisterhood brotherhood thing that realize that there's a separate sect, whatever the case is. But whatever the case, I love the concept of what the Dada organization or philosophy is. I don't want to go more into it as the show reviews itself, but trust me, it's fantastic, which is one of the reasons I'm even more excited about the season because the Brotherhood of Dada is one of my
Oh no,
favorite
yeah,
villains.
this is
So-
already better than season 2, I think, and I like season 2.
Oh, yeah.
But the storyline
Oh, yeah.
just
Season was good, but
the
yeah.
storyline here is just more interesting. That's all.
Yeah.
What was that? What's her name? Dorothy? Whatever. I wasn't. I was
Yeah, the
never,
little
I was
girl
never a
Dorothy,
huge fan
yeah.
of her character. Not that it's terrible, but it's not Omega bad.
Right.
But it was fine. But
Right.
yeah, this one I love where this show's going, and every episode's been so different. It really has. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the pacing, the pacing, the character introductions, the dynamics. It's probably this might be. You know how sometimes when you watch a show, there's always that one season where they just nail it from top to bottom. I feel like season 3 might be that season for Doom
I hope
Patrol,
so. Yeah.
where they just know what they're doing and they're going for it because it works on so many different levels. Playing off what's been built for the past 2 seasons and totally going in a really brave new direction for their. I'm really excited
No,
about it.
absolutely. I can't wait to see what we get next. I really can. And And like I said, in a few weeks, we don't have to worry about Titans anymore. So we can enjoy Doom Patrol
Thank
even
God.
more. Because we're going to enter Doom Patrol at a higher level than coming up Titans.
I know. I know.
So good for us. So yeah, very exciting. Awesome. So we'll continue talking about that as the weeks come. But Eric, as always, every good thing has an end. So this is where we're at.
Well, I'm having a little bit of a technical problem. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to fix this up. Okay, 1 second here.
No problem. Take your time. Yeah, Rick's always got something going on. What can you do, right? But whoa.
Guys, this has been Nerdsplaining. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, my name is Eric Da Silva. This is Jose Romero. Don't forget, you can check out the Latin News Network, where we have all reviews for all TV shows and movies. Jose gets sneak previews for all the stuff that you need to see before it comes out. He'll talk to you about it as well. And if you need nerd stuff explained, you turn into Nerdsplaining. As always, this is Jose Romero. My name is Eric Da Silva. This has been the show. Peace.
Later, guys.